Okay, this video covers custom cross-section leaf on the Create Cross-Section tool. And where you locate that tool is up under the tasks and under corridor modeling. So if it's closed, you just open corridor modeling, and about halfway down, it's the cross-section tools. And you're probably familiar with these tools by now. This is in the advanced part of the Create Cross-Sections is what we're going to do. It's the second tool on the toolbar, Create Cross-Sections. I'm going to open it up. It's going to ask me to locate the alignment, and I'm going to work in this Route 63 side. Now you've seen these two alignments for a while in all the exercises we do. I'm just going to use the 63 this time instead of road 1. What we're going to do is we're going to create some custom cross sections off of here. We're going to go from a station range of 55 to 60, and we got some white lines in here that I've placed using the Geopack pattern line tool for a couple of them, and then I used the Smart Line tool to place a couple other ones. So I got a skewed and I got a bent cross section to do. So first thing it wants is my alignment. I'm going to pick that Route 63. It takes a minute for the tool to populate. Sometimes you'll see that it's not responding. It is just give it some time. It'll pop up. When it pops up, it gives you the default settings. What we want to do is go out and load the preferences. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to load a 10 scale sheet. I'm going to load it, and I'm going to close out. Okay, so I've loaded all my settings. I got 140s on each side of the center line that I'm going to look for. That's as far as my cross sections are going to go. This first tab, you don't have to worry about much except for maybe the model name. I like to give it, it says Route 63, but I'm doing a 10 scale, so I'm going to give it a dash 10, call it scale. You know, I can do that. Or I've done them X10 just to let me know that it's a 10 scale. Okay, so where we're going to work is under the custom leaf. This is the advanced part of the tool. The other part, you guys have probably run this several times, so we're going to go to custom. There's a couple options over here on the right side. We have station range, perpendicular, skewed, and line string. Each one of them performs a little bit different function. The first one, the station range, will actually give us a station range to grab cross sections. Maybe you don't want to go from the beginning of the chain to the end of the chain. Well, we can come in here and set this. You have some pick buttons. These pick buttons allow us to go out and pick elements in the microstation file. So first thing I'm going to do is set my start station. I'll come out. I'm going to snap to that 55. I want to go 55 to 60. So once I snap and accept it, it populates that information in the start station. My stop station will be 60, so I'm going to use the pick button again. I'm using my middle mouse button to snap to the 60 and accept it. That will populate the input field with 60 plus 60 plus 00, and we're good to go. My intervals are set to 100. I'm going to leave them at 100. You can change them however you want. Left and right offset are at minus 100 and 100. And if you look at the general tab, when I load my preference for a 10 scale sheet, it wants to do 140 because that's a perfect size to fit that cross section. So I'm going to take these values and I'll apply them here as well. So I'm going to go back and make this a 140. Make this a 140. And that pretty much covers what I want. There's no skew angle to this, so I'm going to leave it right at perpendicular on the station range. I want just perfect every 100 foot from 55 to 60. So I'll add that information to the list, just like you do in other Geopack tools. You have to add this information. So I'm going to add it in there. It tells me what type it is. It's a station range. And if I click on it, it gives me the information. The next one I want to do is perpendicular. I got perpendicular options out here. I've got 3 white lines that I placed in here. They're not going to be covered every 100 feet. They're 25 foot off. So what I want to do first is I'm going to go out and I'm going to set the station right off the bat. So I'm going to do the pick button again. I'll snap to that first line. I'm going to accept it. It found it, 55 plus 25. My left and right offsets do not match my sheet, so I want to change that. So now that I have my information set up, again, I just simply add it to the list. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pick the next one. So I use my pick button. Snap, accept. It tells me 55 plus 77. The left and right offset is defaulted to 140s now. So I'll just simply add it. I go back through and check these anytime I want. Okay, I got another perpendicular I want to add. So I'm going to go pick the button, the pick button. Snap to the end point of the line. accept it. It brings my station out. I add that to the list as well. Okay. The next one to do is the skewed one. In the list it's skewed, so we'll pick skewed. It's looking for more information. It not only needs a station and left and right offset, but it needs a skew angle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pick my station. I'll use my pick list again, my little pick button. I'm going to come out. I'm going to zoom in where that skewed line crosses my alignment, and I'm going to use my microstation intersect snap. I'm going to come out and use my middle mouse button on the skewed line, snap to it. Then I'm going to snap to the alignment itself, middle mouse button, and that finds the intersection. I'll accept it. It tells me that intersection station is 58 plus 58.45. I'm good with it. I know my left and rights are off, so I'm going to change that to 140 to match the other sheet. And then the last piece of information it needs is that skew angle. And the way you get the skew angle with the pick button is you just click on it, you come out, you snap to the endpoint of that line and accept it, and then you snap to the other endpoint. It needs 2 snaps, okay? And I'm using my middle mouse button to snap and accept it. That gives me my skew angle of 344 degrees, 40 minutes, and 34 seconds. So I'm going to add that to the list, and it tells me it's a skewed one, okay? The last piece that I want to add for my custom cross sections is this bend in here. I'm going to add that, okay? Now, this is a this is a line string, what we're adding. Trying to find a tool I don't see anywhere. Let's see. That's not what I want. Anyway, I'm going to go out and I'm going to pick this bent line, and I'm going to create a custom cross section out of it. So you have to create a microstation selection set out of it, which I have, one set of 1. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to change this pull down to line string. Okay, when I do that, what it does is it gives me an option. Instead of add, it gives me a graphics. So whatever graphics I have in a selection set, it's going to want to add in here. So I'll simply hit the graphics button, and you can see the skewed was the last one I did, but since this line string is at 56 plus 77, it kind of squeezed it in between them and reordered them. Okay, so here's our line string. Okay, I'm going to drop my selection set. Select none. I have nothing selected. I'm going to look over here at this line string, and I'm going to see where it's at. It's at station 56 plus 77. But look at my left and right offsets. I'm getting a minus 169 because we're going from north to south here. You're getting 169 from here to there. And then you're going 273 off to the right, okay, on your right offset. So that, to me, if I'm looking at all what I have set up, is a problem because I have 140 to work with left and right on my sheet. So if I go on and proceed right now to what I've got in my list, it's going to populate information for all of them but this line string because it can't fit it in that cross section. So it just doesn't place it. But what you need to do, or what you can do, is go back to your preferences and change it from 10 scale to 20 scale and load it. Okay, now what we're going to do is change our scale. So I go back to General tab and I look at my left and right offsets, and you're talking they're 280 feet each side. Go back to Custom, I look at line string. 280, you definitely take that and that. So we're good. We're going to be able to throw some cross sections out there and not worry about it not plotting, okay? The only other issue that we're going to have is that all these other ones I did at 140, so they're going to be half the size. So here's where you come in, and you would change this to 280, okay? And after you change them, you use the update button, okay? And it updates that section. Okay, so let's try this. 280 feet each side. I'll update. Make sure I do this one. Update. Hit the third one. I'll update that. And line string, you can't change anything here. This is the way it defaults to, so you can't go in there and change the, you know, what your left and right offset is, other than by coming out here and changing the length of the line to get close to your corridor where you can see at least some of the existing, where it ties in the existing ground. So that's one way of doing it, is just changing the length of the line. The skewed, I'll change it as well. That's 280. And I'll do this one too, and I will update that. So everything's been updated. One last thing before I hit the apply button is I'm going to go to the controls leaf. I'm going to go down to critical sections. And in that critical section, you have a horizontal cardinal point and a vertical cardinal point. And what these are, they'll go out and they'll place cross sections wherever your PC, your PT, your PI, beginning station cross section, your first one. All those will be applied. I don't want those. I just want the ones I have in my custom list. So I'm going to uncheck these so I don't get any unwanted cross sections out there. And then I'll go right back to my custom leaf. Everything still looks good. So it's just a matter of hitting the apply button. It will create a brand new model, a cross section model, and it'll have those several custom cross sections that I've created. And I can see most of them go on out to the edge to 280 feet left and right like I wanted. You'll see the one does not, and that's got to be my line string, because remember, if I go to the line string, it only goes 169 and 273, so it's not going to be as wide as the other ones. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to go up to my level display and turn off my minor grid lines so I can see a little better. Okay, so just simply going up, turning off my minor grid lines. Now let's just check them and make sure all our cross sections came in. So we're looking for a station range, so we'll have one at 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60. And then we'll have some perpendicular ones. So 55. Now here's one perpendicular, 55 plus 25, that's in. 55, 75 made it. Okay, we're looking for 56, 25, but 56 came in. And I'll just use my pan tool. 56, 25 came in. So that other perpendicular came in. And then up here, you're going to see our line string came in. 56 plus 77. We're good there. 57, 58. Here's our skewed. 58 plus 58, 45. And then the next sheet will give us our 59 and 60. Okay, so we got them pretty much the way we wanted them on our custom ones. So what we'll do now is there'll be a time that you want to come back and hit this list, because if I close out of this and don't save this list, it's gone and I got to redo everything. So down here in the bottom right, you'll see there's an import, save, and save as. First time you ever do this tool, you want to do a save as and tell it what folder to place it in. So let's do that. Save as. The folder doesn't show me, so I'm imagining it's not in the right spot. So I'm going to change it. And I'm going to change it to a place that you guys don't have access to, but I'm just going to navigate to my project-wise folder in the project that I'm working in. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty deep, but I'm going to store it in my folder where I know where it's at. And I'm going to hit OK. So now it defaults to my folder. I'm good. Then I'm going to give it a name. The name of this, it's a custom cross section, so I'm going to call it custom 20 scale. 20 scale. And I like to give it the extension. I mean, you probably don't have to, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because I like the capitals for my extension so I can see them. They jump out at me. So it's an XCS extension. And you can see that right down here. So I'm going to copy. And I'm going to paste. And then I'm going to save it. Okay. Okay, now that I've saved it, the cross-section tool, I can close it. I can completely close out of it. And I can go back into that default model. I can go up in here. And while I'm in here, and maybe I want to cut cross sections again, I come back out to my task, I bring the tool back up. Again, that's the create cross section tool. Locate the alignment. It loads the tool. You're going to get this file open error after you create that XSC file because it's wanting to load it on the fly. It cannot. So we're going to just say OK, and it's fine. It's going to bring the tool back. Okay. Now again, I'm going to load my preference. 20 scale, load, boom. Then I'm going to go back out to the custom tab, and I'm going to import that file. Okay, so I got to navigate back out to where that file is located, where I placed it, and it's rather deep, but I know where it's at. And we called it custom 20 scale, so I'm going to load that up. Okay, and you can see all my information came across. Pretty cool. So then I can run them again and be off and running. Okay, so that's how you do it. Now, to get this stuff out of your list without closing it out, you can just simply you'll have to delete each one of them using highlight and then the delete key on your keyboard, and that will clean them up. They're out of there. And the reason I do this is I want to show you one more thing, and that is that I can select all these pieces and have them added into the a selection set. So if I go back to my element selection tool and I pick the items like I did, I've got so many items here, 5 items. I can go and change my station range selection to line string and then hit graphics, and look what it did. It went out and it grabbed my perpendiculars, my line string, and my skewed. So it got all those pieces for me just with creating a microstation selection set. Now the trick to this is, again, making sure that you got wide enough cross sections to cover the pieces of information that we have here. And you can see that it's taking my line and giving me exactly what the line's been drawn at. 160 on the left and 175 and some change on the right. Okay, so however you got your line out there, that's what it's going to use for your left and right offsets. If you want to do the station range, again, you'd have to go out and pick your station range. And then let's just go ahead and place these. But before I do, since I've reloaded that preference is to controls, I want to go back and check my critical sections and turn them off. And now if I apply, it's going to create a new model, and there's the 5 sections that it has in this list. Okay, without changing anything. There they are. So I just wanted to show you that it is kind of a quick and easy way of doing it when you can just do a selection set and grab the ones that you want to do, and create a model out of that for your cross sections. I hope this all helps. If you have any questions, give us a call here at CAD Sport. We'll be more than happy to help you out.